Hello, and welcome back to MoJo JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, the one and only Powerpuff Girls / JoJo's Bizarre Adventure recap and discussion podcast. I'm Raven.
And I'm Alison.
Currently, we are discussing the second half of Stardust Crusaders, and this week we are going to talk about the episodes Bast's Mariah Part 2 and Set's Alessi Part 1. But before we get into the episodes, just a reminder to, if you haven't already, to subscribe / follow the podcast and to leave a comment or a review. It would really help us get out there to more folks if we got some more feedback. I think podcasts are more likely to be recommended to people if they get positive reviews. And we might read your review on the show as well.
And also check us out on our other podcast, What We Pod in the Shadows, where we are watching and discussing what we do in the shadows. And we're currently on season 4. And What We Do in the Shadows is a comedy about vampires living in Staten Island.
Yeah, you might enjoy that one if you want to hear about some vampires who are significantly less evil than Dio.
Okay, so we are on episode 31, Bast's Mariah, or Bast's Mariah. I'm not sure. There was different titles there.
Yeah.
This is part 2. Abdul and Gramps are being forced together because they are magnetized oppositely, so they are attracted together beyond their control. I hope that makes sense. Mariah disappears between buildings as the two men struggle and fall in the dirt. They attempt to stand and then separate using a fence as a cat and 2 teams watch. Abdul and Gramps pretend to be dancing and tell the passersby to skidoo. Gramps tells Abdul he needs to slide down his body and then hopefully detach once he gets to his foot, which leads to hilarity once he gets to Gramps' crotch, at which time the teens come back with all their friends. Because of Abdul's embarrassment and discomfort and at their position, Gramps turns around and repels Abdul off himself with his butt, but they are soon locked back together. In another compromising position, Abdul's crotch to Gramps' hiney. And the old hag from the hotel with the nice legs shows up. She beats Gramps with her umbrella, and they are able to pull away from each other again and end up rolling down a grassy hill. Gramps bellowing that they need to stay away from each other. So I don't know, the hag was I hate to call her a hag, but pissed off because it was Gramps was leading her on, but he's really interested in men. Something. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just he's not interested in you.
Yeah.
So he could not be leading you on or cheating on you.
Yeah, he's just usually trying to run away from her, so I don't.
Yeah.
I know it did seem like he had lifted her skirt or whatever, but I don't think I would be too cool with someone if that's what they were trying to do, approaching me in such a way in the first place. No. She should have been hitting him with her umbrella.
Yeah.
When that happened.
Yeah.
Instead of being sort of flattered. They land near a seated and smoking Mariah and try to get on either side of her, but notice they are on a train track and their feet are stuck together. Now they are stuck back to back, lying on the track when they feel the vibration of a train. Gramps says Abdul needs to bring forth Magician's Red to burn the tracks, but Abdul says that will derail the train. Mariah just laughs deeply through their struggles. Gramps uses Hermit Purple to grab a nearby post to hopefully pull them off the track. Gramps pulls until he about has an aneurysm and the post breaks. Mariah thinks she has won. She vows to go after Jotaro and Polnareff next, but when the train is gone, Gramps and Abdul are alive in a trench. Abdul burned. So it's he did mess up the track, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think he was just like, he didn't want to derail the train because there were like people on there, so he just like fucked it up so that the train couldn't come through there in the first place.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not totally sure why yeah. What exactly happened there and why the train didn't crash from what they did, but they call forth their stands and Gramps wraps hermit purple's vines around her neck. Her breasts enlarge and she says their magnetism has gotten stronger and she stuffed her bra with nuts and bolts which shoot at them like bullets. But Avdol eventually stops them with his magician's red. Mariah runs off again, saying their magnetism will keep increasing until they are crushed. Avdol posits maybe they should run away, but Gramps refuses and makes a map on the ground with his stand and says Mariah should loop back around their way, like based on where she ran to and what path she was on. If she stays on it, she should come back towards them again. Jotaro, Polnareff, and Iggy see men running by, panicked about the train rail being cut. Gramps and Avdol run after Mariah, all the while attracting small metal objects. Gramps points for him and Avdol to split up. I'm not sure why they're not sticking to each other at this point, like they were before, but whatever.
Yeah.
Then Gramps starts attracting larger objects like a bicycle, trash cans, and cans of fruit, and is struggling to move. Mariah gloats until it's revealed that Avdol is on her other side. She laughs and said she lured them to this spot on purpose where there are high voltage power lines. She tosses daggers and cuts some of the lines, which are extremely magnetic. They repel the power lines with their stands, but Gramps isn't powerful enough. Avdol attracts an entire truck to himself and is beginning to be crushed. Mariah announces she is attracted to Gramps. I guess she wanted him to know before he died. Gramps tries to get her to turn off the magnetism, that her stand is more powerful than his, but when she repeatedly refuses, Gramps lets go of the gutter drain he was holding on to, and he and Avdol crash into Mariah, crushing her. Once she passes out, they are free. They tidy themselves up and discuss getting breakfast. Jotaro and Polnareff finally realize at almost 9 a.m. that the other two might be in trouble. Alessi has shown up to take on Jotaro and Polnareff while Gramps and Avdol are busy with Mariah. I mean, I guess the magnetic stand is kind of neat and clever. I don't know why, like, it had to be just kind of shoved in there at the end that she had a crush on Gramps.
No, that was just so weird.
It wasn't really necessary, or she could have, like, maybe flirted the whole time, and then maybe it would have made sense. Like, oh, it's a pity, like, you have to die, or like maybe she could have had a crush on Avdol, who would be closer to her age or something. I don't know. It was just weird. And then really, other than what her stand was and stuff, we didn't learn anything about Mariah.
No.
Even though she's like technically like a two-parter, and
I do think it's a cool stand. I'm not sure if it always like worked I guess the way I thought it should, or how magnets actually work. I know it's a cartoon, but I don't know, sometimes it's just like, oh, well, they just got some bottle caps stuck on them, and then other times it's like they're totally stuck together, Joseph and Avdol, and then other times it's like, yeah, this bicycle is stuck to my back and it's way down.
I mean, I think it was supposed to be getting more powerful as they went along, although I'm not sure why.
Yeah.
But yes, like there would be times like Gramps and Avdol were stuck together kind of towards the beginning, but then somehow in the middle they weren't getting stuck to each other anymore.
Yeah.
I didn't really get that. Or like why they weren't just like, say, instead of attracting an entire truck to him, why he wasn't just like stuck to a truck. Or like, I don't know, sometimes doors are metal, like just there's so many things that are metal that, yeah, it just didn't totally work, like you were saying.
Yeah, I just felt like the rules of the stand weren't that consistent, and that's what bugs me.
Yeah, I take it she had to be kind of close for it to work.
Yeah, I think so.
Which is another thing that doesn't make it that great of a stand either.
Yeah. I guess it just, depends on how powerful the stand is, what the range is, but that's not always consistent either.
I mean, she probably could have been kept it hidden. A lot of times they don't even suspect women anyway, but
yeah.
If she wasn't everywhere, like
yeah.
She's always doing that deep laugh, in her throat, and it's I don't know.
Yeah, if you're the villain in a piece of fiction, usually if you end up gloating, that's what ultimately gets you. Either because you revealed too much about your plan, or because in this case they're what's your deal? Why are you laughing at my unfortunate circumstances?
Yeah, it's she kind of had to explain the magnetism to them and stuff. Maybe she just kind of stayed more mysterious.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Someone is also just awkward as hell to watch with someone else just because of how the magnetism worked. The part at the beginning with Gramps and Avdol being stuck to each other. And then the part where she has the nuts and bolts in her bra and it makes her boobs look huge.
Yeah, that one, the boob part kind of took it a little bit too far. I don't know. The Gramps and Avdol stuff didn't make me super uncomfortable or anything. It was kind of funny that Gramps was completely oblivious.
yeah.
And then Avdol was but Mr. Joestar. So that part was kind of funny. It was just,
yeah.
It's funnier than the shit so far with Iggy farting in people's faces. It's just completely disgusting and juvenile.
Yeah.
This is juvenile humor too, but
yeah.
Yeah, and it's just her boobs are getting so big. I don't know. But again, just shoving that in the end that she has a crush on Gramps was just kind of odd.
And then also she's well, but I still want to kill you though because I think Dio is even hotter.
Yeah. I didn't write that down, but I do remember that.
I was gonna throw in how everyone is so attracted to Dio.
Is there gonna be a hospital wing somewhere where it's just all these stand users that they? I'm not. There's only really a few of them that I think that they actually did kill.
Yeah.
Or that were killed. I'm just they could all be healed and come back.
Yeah.
I guess that's really all I have to say there. It was pretty straightforward. But wait, I was going to say that so they keep telling them don't run off by yourselves, but I don't think the going off two people together is really helping either.
Oh, I just need to fucking all four of them go somewhere at once, even if it's just just one of them has to take a whiz or something. They can guard the bathroom doors. Jesus Christ.
Although I don't know what she would have done, Mariah. And then we gotta count Iggy because he does have a stand, even though a lot of times in these episodes so far, it's kind of no one is counting Iggy.
Yes.
But what she would have done with 5 other stand users, would she have tried to magnetize all of them? I mean, I guess, right? Because
probably.
If it's just a single person, that whole thing would just be that. I guess it would just keep getting more powerful, and then just all this metal stuff would keep flying at them and then eventually crush them or kill them.
Yeah.
I don't know if she could have tricked 5 of them into touching those oddly placed electrical outlets, but
yeah.
Anyway, that kind of seems a little problematic with her stands, that they have to touch the electrical outlet, or
yeah.
I know she kind of set the situation up, sort of. Avdol kind of had to touch it to stop the escalator, and then I don't know why Gramps had to touch the weird one in the desert, but just because it was just why is that there?
Yeah, he was just being nosy as hell.
Yeah. I could see them all. I could see, like, maybe Iggy and Jotaro not touching the plate.
Yeah.
And then, like, Polnareff 100%
Oh, he absolutely would.
touching the electrical outlet. And then Iggy and Jotaro trying to have to save the other three. Well, probably Iggy not really helping,
Yeah.
but somehow having to help because they toss him like a baseball or something.
Yeah, he pretty much is just a pest right now. Like,
Bribe him with some gum.
Yeah.
He helps against his will. Like, so far, he's not really been helpful.
No.
Like, he's just kind of there in this story. He helped with the guy that was blind.
Yeah.
But he hasn't really been helpful since.
Yeah.
I know Gramps was taking him to the bathroom with him, but then that's where Gramps touched the electrical outlet, so.
Yeah, Iggy is not helpful willingly either, so it's like, does it actually, like, matter if he's with them or not? Like,
he's always getting up to crazy shit, so how are they supposed to know if he's up to crazy shit because there's a stand user nearby, or if he's just up to crazy shit because he's Iggy?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't.
He's doing this simply as an opportunity to fart in Polnareff's face.
And I don't know what time they were trying to wake Gramps up. It's like, it's 9 a.m. now. And, like, why they waited so long to be like, oh, something must be wrong. Like, of course something is wrong.
Something is always fucking wrong.
I feel like, and maybe if something's up with Gramps, like, they should have just all went up there.
Yeah.
Why did they wait outside? Like, he was, like, even probably, it's not like, well, he was, like, in his boxer shorts, wasn't he?
Yeah.
But still, it's a bunch of dudes, like.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's not gonna be that weird unless they make it weird.
Maybe even, like, why did none of the other ones notice he had bottle caps stuck to his back and stuff either? Like, because, I mean, this is, like, day 2 of this going on.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like at least Avdol should have been observant enough to notice that. Like, Polnareff, probably fucking not. I don't know. Like, half the time Jotaro just doesn't give a shit about what's happening unless he gets to punch somebody. And obviously Kakuin's not there to be like, logical either. Because he hurt his eyes.
Kind of wish they took, like, Kakuin out so they could have 2-on-2 stuff.
Yeah.
He could be paired up with Iggy. Alright, let's move on to the disgustingness that is the next episode.
Yes.
Or the ridiculousness that is the next episode.
It's both. Okay, so now we move on to Sets Alessi Part 1. And all this is like happening at the same time as the fight with Mariah. Jotaro and Polnareff are watching these kids basically like play house in the mud. Polnareff is charmed by the children's innocence, but Jotaro is more concerned about where the others are, as he should be. They call Iggy and go off looking for Avdol and Joseph. So the kids who are playing in mud, I think, were all little girls. So this little boy shows up and he wants to play too, but the girls are like, nah, you suck. The boy ends up flinging mud on this dude walking by his very white pants. At first, I thought maybe Polnareff had come back around, because I'm pretty sure he has white pants too. So this dude is, however, very obviously a stand user because he has very unusual clothes and hair, and for some reason he has bells in his hair. He acts very calm and friendly with the little boy at first, but when the kid reveals his parents aren't nearby, he punches him for getting mud on his pants. And just, like, goes apeshit. Worst mud. The guy says his name is Alessi, and he's there to kill Polnareff and Jotaro. His stand is Set, the Egyptian god of storms and chaos. Polnareff and Joseph look for the others in their hotel room, but with no signs of a struggle, they don't have anything to go on. He runs off and steals a sandwich or something. He witnesses Mariah doing battle with Joseph and Avdol, but is uninterested and walks off. Because he doesn't give a shit. Alessi acts like he's dropped his money or change on the ground in order to appear nonchalant. Polnareff clocks that he's been following them and calls him out. And he's like, "You have such evil eyes." Alessi's like, "I don't know what you're talking about. My loving, non-evil parents gave me these baby..." Which I had to write down because it's so silly.
I don't think his eyes were blue at all. Like, they were I think they were brown and sometimes they looked red.
Yeah.
But they weren't blue.
Yeah. Polnareff is not fooled by the act, and so then he calls out his stand, Silver Chariot, basically to prove that Alessi is a stand user, and I guess get him to, fight him. If so, and he, sees Polnareff stand. Alessi calls out his stand as well, and it looks like a shadow on the ground with creepy red eyes. Polnareff calls for Jotaro's help, but Jotaro doesn't seem to notice where or why Polnareff went off on his own. Polnareff chases the guy through streets and alleyways when suddenly his voice changes and becomes higher. He doesn't notice at first that he sounds like a child. He trips and notices his shoes are suddenly too big, however. He runs into this adult man who gets pissed off at him for his insolence and lifts Polnareff up with one hand. Polnareff thinks this guy must be a giant, but is confused when he calls him a kid playing around in adult clothes. Everyone around Polnareff is suddenly gigantic. It is not until he sees his reflection in a window that he realizes that Alessi's stand has turned him back into a child. Polnareff freaks out when he sees his baggy clothing and realizes Alessi's stand must have hit him when he was unaware. Jotaro runs past Polnareff, and Polnareff recognizes him but can't remember his name to ask for help. Jotaro notes that the kid has the same hair as Polnareff but doesn't clock him and walks away. Alessi shows back up and gloats about his stand's abilities and that he turned Polnareff into a kid. Polnareff tries in vain to get Jotaro's attention, but Alessi blocks him and goes on a creepy rant about how much he enjoys picking on the weak. Alessi corners Polnareff in an alley and shoots at him with just a regular-ass gun. It's not a stand or anything. But he is blocked from hitting Polnareff by Silver Chariot, which is also now child-sized. Silver Chariot's rapier, blocks the bullets, but now it's so small that the bullets dent the blade. Polnareff freaks out as he realizes how powerful Alessi must be to have turned his stand into a child, too. Alessi takes an axe out of his vest and summons his stand Set, which also has an axe. Alessi is determined to kill Polnareff with Set, but the axe blade catches on Silver Chariot's dented rapier, and the rapier breaks off and lands in Alessi's neck. Polnareff is able to escape temporarily, and then he comes across a woman who offers to take him home and treat his forehead injury. Polnareff realizes that Alessi's too much of a coward to attack when other adults are nearby, and decides to go with her at least until he can plan to defeat Alessi's stand and get back to normal. And he gets a piggyback ride. Alessi just, cowers in the alleyway, and he's, clutching his wound and biding his time. For some reason, the woman has decided that in order to treat Polnareff's injuries, she needs to give him a bath. And this part is just so icky. I apologize.
Like, she draws him a bath, but then just kind of wipes him.
Yeah.
She doesn't put him in the tub.
Yeah. I don't know what Rocky's fascination is with, like, putting children in weirdly, like, violent and sexual predicaments when they're just trying to take a bath. I need him to stop. So she takes most of her clothes off, and Polnareff is way too excited because she's hot, but also embarrassed because he's a small child, and if she undresses him, she'll see his junk. He ultimately lets her take his clothes off and scrub him, but is mostly excited because his face gets squashed in her boobs in the process. Gross. Unbeknownst to Polnareff, Alessi has tracked them to her house and plans to kill him while he's distracted by her boobs, basically. Polnareff doesn't want her to wash his hair at first. I kind of assumed it's just because Polnareff is so into his hair and he probably put like a bunch of product in there.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
But then he's like, I don't want you to wash my hair because you'll get, like, shampoo in my eyes. But then he ends up letting her wash his hair anyways. But then he doesn't notice when she stops washing his hair and Alessi starts scrubbing his scalp instead. I don't know how he did not notice this because it's not like that lady and Alessi sound the same, and probably I would think they would have a different hair washing technique and everything. Polnareff is just so distracted because he's Polnareff and also a small child, I guess.
Alessi brings out his axe, doesn't he? At like the end.
Yeah, I think then Polnareff is like, oh shit, I'm in trouble.
So, like, making him a little kid, I mean, I'm not gonna say it's like a great plan, but it definitely kind of like neuters them in a way.
Yes.
Because, like, he kind of was slowly forgetting, like, his adult memories. That's why he couldn't remember JoJo's name and stuff like that. So it definitely makes them less powerful. The Alessi guy kept saying, I think especially like at the beginning when he was talking to that kid, kept saying, "Attaboy."
Yeah.
It was really annoying how many times he said it.
We get it. It's your catchphrase, bro.
Didn't really say it a whole lot, like, after that, but yeah. I just questioned the woman, like, if you just find a random hurt child, like, would think you would phone the police, or, like, I don't know, like, if he's really hurt, take him to the doctor or hospital. I don't understand taking him home and bathing him. I would think you would want to find his parents or something. And then how she bathed him was weird. And in a way, I kind of understand her, like, maybe getting down to less clothes herself in case there was a lot of, like, splashing.
Yeah.
But then she didn't put him in the tub.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. And then it's like Polnareff it was like he was excited at her hotness or whatever, but then it was also like he kind of didn't quite understand why he was excited about that because he's a little kid. Like, he just kind of had a little bit of Polnareff's pervy mind left. I don't know.
Yeah.
That part just didn't really make sense. It might have just been funnier or like made more sense to just have like Polnareff kind of running through the town and like kind of seeing like how kids are sort of dismissed or whatever.
Yeah.
Or even like able to get away with things that like adults can't, instead of just like this odd sexual experience in this woman's bathroom.
I hate it so much. I think it could have been a fun episode if we just focused on Polnareff being a kid. You know, like, what was Polnareff like when he was a kid? How do other people, like you said, how do other people, like, treat him because he's a kid? Just, like, general, like, silly shenanigans. We could have kept it PG.
Yeah, because, like, I mean, they showed his little naked Winky, like,
Yeah.
multiple occasions. Like, at one point, he gets on the ground and kind of has, like, a tantrum, because I think when she's gonna wash his hair,
Yeah.
he's, like, kicking his legs, and, like, I mean, I guess they could have just showed his hiney, or we could have just, like, understood that he was naked, but no, they had to show his butt and his little wiener. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of boobage in these 2 episodes.
There is.
Like, this Alessi guy, like you said, there was, like, bells in his hair. Like, he kind of had, like, I don't know, Bozo the clown hair, except it was brown. Like, it was just...
Yeah. It was kind of Sideshow Bob-esque.
Yeah. He had, like, I was gonna say half-moon spectacles, but I think they were more like little triangles. And then kind of like suspenders on. I don't know.
Yeah.
The bells just really didn't make sense.
No, they were just there. Like, he just had, like...
They never made noise. They were just, yeah.
He just had, like, I don't know, his regular, I guess, 80s outfit with the vest, and for some reason the suspenders, and it's pink. And then he has the hair. I feel like that's enough to be like, this guy is a stand user, and stand users look and dress fairly eccentrically. The bells are just...
So it's like he turns people into little kids, but we saw that, I mean, not that he should enjoy little kids exactly, but he just seemed like he enjoys picking on little kids.
Yeah.
Like real little kids, not ones that he just turned into a little kid. I don't know. I mean, I guess so far we don't, I complained that we didn't really learn anything about Mariah other than that she thought Dio was hot or whatever. She thought Gramps was hot. So far we haven't really learned anything about Alessi either, other than that he likes to pick on little kids.
Yeah. He's just such a creep that I actually don't care if we learn more about him.
Yeah. I mean, none of these people are like talking about, we had a couple there that were like, he's going to give me a bunch of money, but
Yeah.
I'm just loyal to him because he's so strong. I think that was one of them.
Yeah.
Like, his world stand is the most powerful, but now they're just kind of gave up on even like giving a reason. So I don't know. I'm not sure how he gets out of this. And if we see Jotaro get small also, or like Iggy's gonna be a puppy. Gramps is gonna be 4 years old. I know it's supposed to be at the same time, but I think it was like they really didn't split up until, I don't know. It seems like it was separate.
Yeah.
That they go looking for Gramps and Abdul, like, kind of after they've already defeated Mariah, is what it seemed like to me. I know there were areas where it seemed like they were simultaneous. I don't know.
Yeah, and then Mariah seemed like, she's like, after I kill you guys, I'm gonna go get Polnareff and Jotaro. So.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing, didn't know Alessi was there also.
I mean, I don't know how they would have known that they would have been separated in such a way to send 2 stand users.
Yeah.
That was just their mistake, kind of being ding-dongs about eating. It's always like about them eating out or something. I think that the hotel that they were at would have breakfast. I mean, I know that we're not in America, but
it seems like they're always getting in predicaments, either because they have to go use the bathroom or because they decide to go to a restaurant.
Yeah. I mean, the hotel had sometimes when I think about it, I kept thinking they were like at the mall or something. There's like an escalator and they have like them huge ladies' bathrooms, and
yeah,
there's that big statue that I think it fell on Abdul.
Yes.
I kept thinking they when they left their hotel room, like they went to the mall or something. That's what it felt like. Kind of almost forgot that they were supposed to like meet up for breakfast, but
yeah, I'm going to the mall would be extremely 80s.
Well, maybe that would be a good place to find a stand user and then they could hide and pretend to be mannequin.
Yeah.
Maybe they can finally change their fucking clothes.
I was going to say Jotaro could just drag them all to Hot Topic, but I don't know that Hot Topic existed in the 80s.
Probably not in Egypt.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to Polnareff's washed hair. He needs to have it messed up.
Yes.
I'm not sure why Jotaro looked right at him and didn't realize that was him.
Yeah, he had the same hair and the same clothes. It's not like Jotaro also got hit by the stand and was losing memories.
These guys have no imagination with this stuff. But I mean, I guess they haven't got information about these newer stands and stand users, what they can do.
Yeah. They do have Avdol back, but he really only knew about the other stand users because they were tarot card themed and he's a fortune teller.
I don't know. I guess I don't really have anything else to say for this.
Okay. I do have some trivia.
Okay.
Alessi is named after a pop duo called the Alessi Brothers. I have not heard of them. And then there's a DJ named Alesso, but I'm not sure that he was around in the 80s. So I almost thought that at first, but then I was probably not. So the lady that Polnareff ends up in her bathroom, she did not have an official name in the manga, but she got one with the anime. I don't know that it's ever actually mentioned in the anime, though. She's named Milena after an Italian movie from 2000 starring Monica Bellucci. So, I mean, obviously she couldn't have been named that then because the movie didn't exist then. But, I don't know.
Okay. It's not a music person.
Yeah, I know. I was like, is Monica Bellucci also a model? Because that could be going for a fashion reference in a way.
I'm not sure. I mean, she's, I guess, could be pretty enough to be a model, certainly, but I don't know if that's how she started.
Yeah, that's not my trivia because basically we're already explained what Set is the god of.
Yeah, so storms and chaos doesn't, I mean, I guess the chaos part, but
Yeah.
making someone super young, I don't know that goes along with that either. So,
No.
or even just how his stand is a creepy shadow.
Yeah, I feel like the creepy shadow kind of goes with Set because he's the god of evil and stuff as well, but I don't know, the ability and the stand's appearance really tie in all together neatly. I don't know.
We could have maybe made this guy creepier and I don't know, Storm Stand might have been neat or something.
Yeah.
Or even what was Mariah's?
Bast.
But what is that the god of?
I mean, she's for sure the god of cats. Sometimes also combat and war and shit.
See, I don't even think that goes with magnets, but I could see storms, you would have lightning and
yeah,
maybe that could be magnetics. I don't.
The only way I can think of how Mariah's stand was tied into involving a cat goddess is I think at one point she says something about curiosity killed the cat or whatever. So just them being nosy about the
electrical outlets.
Yes.
Because Gramps had to check it out and touch it.
Yeah.
They could have had her be a little bit more cat-like or have maybe a kitty minion or something, or
kitty minion would be very nice.
Something.
Or she has a hood and could have little cat ears.
Something they could have been. I don't know. Yeah. I feel even the shadow with the eyeballs was just kind of lazy. I don't know.
Yeah. Some of the other stands are just so cool and or visually interesting, and then it's just a shadow with eyeballs.
It just kind of look like maybe something a kid would draw. This is scary.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not even sure, like, how him and, like, the Polnareff and Jotaro got separated in the first place.
And why Jotaro decided to be alone with him.
It's like Polnareff spotted Alessi and kind of knew he was the sand user, but why did, like, Jotaro should have still been in, like, an earshot and, like, turned around and looked or something.
So, next time, our episodes are going to be Sets Alessi Part 2 and Darby the Gambler Part 1. So, you might want to watch those ahead of time before you listen to the episode because we will probably discuss all of it.
Hopefully, in the next episode, I don't have to see Polnareff's tiny wiener.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Put some fucking pants on, Polnareff.
He's like, gotta fight Alessi in the nude.
That's his stance week. It's his nudity.
His clothes don't fit now. Like, with some children's clothing. Jotaro can take him shopping or something.
They'll go back to the mall, and Jotaro can get him some children's clothing from, like, trying to think of a brand that would have existed in the 80s.
Oshkosh Bagosh.
The Gap. American Eagle. I don't know.
Sears.
Yeah, Sears. Sears would have been.
There was a time Sears had the children's clothing was all, like, had the Scotch Guard on it to repel stains because kids are so messy. That was, like, their big thing at one point.
Yeah. Jotaro's gonna, like, take him there, and they're gonna take, like, some family portraits together.
Now that he's a baby. Have, like, Polnareff's, his, like, side view, like, kind of faded out in the background. Get them buck teeth that he has now. He had, like, his front teeth look like they belonged on a rat or a mouse or something, or a chipmunk. They didn't look like human front teeth. They were kind of angled and pointy.
He looked like Timmy Turner.
He still had them damn earrings on.
Maybe his parents pierced his ears when he was a baby.
Doubt that's like a thing in France for little boys.
Probably not. Yeah, like we said, tune in next week. Leave us a comment or a review if you enjoyed the show.
Tell us how you think Jotaro should dress Baby Polnareff. Which probably doesn't happen, but
small Naref.
Just entertain me at this point.
Yeah.
With your replies.
So until next time, I'll be the roundabout. Goodbye.
Goodbye.